Between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
A very good evening, everybody. It's Richard John Neal here with my co-commentator, Tom Nippers. Tom is an absolute Formula Ford ace. Aced it. Our festival was mega. Went out and got the first pole, won the first heat, won the semi. So a guy who knows what he's talking about. Tom, thanks for joining us, mate. Real pleasure, again, to have a great co-commentator with me. How are you?
No, thank you very much for having me, Richard. And I love the fact they've shown a photo of, I think that's Taylor Barnard, which is, you know, it's all right. I won't get too offended. I don't post enough for myself, clearly. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the race.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this as well. The calendar has pretty much mirrored what we're going to see in the real world series, which is not too far away now. I think we're not that far away from April, so really looking forward to it. Clerk of the course is Ian Danahay. We'll be going through all the judicials a little bit later this week. It's going to be Thursday this week, with Rich Hayden, I think, busy up to something tomorrow morning. So we've got to wait a little bit longer for the official results to come through. But thanks to Ian, and of course, thanks to Steve, our producer stroke director, who'll be flicking shots and making sure, keeping me and Tom in order throughout the course of the next couple of hours. So Silverstone GP, again, like Brands GP, everybody wants to come and race on this configuration. It is the home of British motorsport. It's where you want to be, isn't it, really? If this isn't on the calendar, it's probably not worth playing in the UK. But yeah, mega circuit. Really, really looking forward to our penultimate event. I can't believe, again, how quickly this series has gone. We've got another Brands Hatch, of course, next week, which we'll look forward to as we go on. And things very tight on the championship front at the moment. In fact, let's have a look at the standings. Last week was a DNS for Scott Bugner. He was prepping his race car, his own MG race car last week, so didn't take part. So therefore, last week was his drop round. You can see the DNS score there on the top line. Kieran Haynes and Gabe Norse have closed to within a solitary point of Scott Bugner. It's all to play for this week. Jack Smith, multi-champion with VRRC, is fourth from Lee Pearcey, who was driver of the round last week, and he's climbing up the order as well, only 3 points behind Jack Smith. Luke Cooper, who's been really impressive with us on his VRRC debut, is sixth from Ollie Gibson and Miles Ragg. Then it's Leon Frost. Andy Dorman wraps up our top 10. 11th, I think, if memory serves, before we get the graphic, well, it was Rich Hayden. I wouldn't say that now, we can see it on screen. Chris Blakey next up from Tom Potter, who's got off the boil a little bit. We'll see what Thomas can do today. Coming to the boil, the last couple of rounds was Ollie Atkins, got his first win last time out, and his best score, 65, you can see there, after his driver of the round award from Snetterton 200. Andy Carroll 15th. Next up is Paul Laramie and Mason Turner, and the top 10-20 completed by Alex Forster, Christian Gillian and Callum Enston. But we've got more drivers to consider as well. In fact, well over 30 drivers entered into this championship. We'll have a look at the remainder of the top 30 before we go on to the teams championship. Last week, by far, as you can see, the best ever round for Sam Gumbley. Just shy of getting driver of the round in my book, Sam Gumbley last week. Craig Curtis had a blinder as well. He was very nearly driver of the round. He's 22nd. He's only done a couple of rounds as Craig. Cat Potter 23rd from Kenny Preston, Sam Walton. Dan Heaps was disappointing last week. Let's hope Dan is on track and hasn't been put off. Can't see him on the timings at the moment. Harry Irvin next up. He's 27th from Olavo Castro. Aidan Ingram and Caden Cook 30th. As I say, we've got another panel which we could go through, but we're going to have a look at the team championship. Otherwise, we will be here all evening going through the championship table for you. So, Gabe Norse and Leon Frost top the team standings, They've got a good, healthy lead, those two, ahead of DK Power Racing brothers Jack Smith and Oliver Gibson, with Andy Carroll and championship outright leader Scott Bugner in third, from Lee Piercy and Rich Hayden in the VRRC Sim race team. Swift Cooper Juniors, Kieran Haynes and Mason Turner are fifth, from Swift Cooper, can't call them senior, but the more senior pairing, Luke Cooper and Miles Ragg, like that, in sixth place, from Blakey and Laramie, Gillian and Atkins. Heaps and Potter are ninth, and Andy Dorman on his Todd is in 10th place. That's our run through of the championship standings. A little bit more housekeeping to go before we get on with racing this evening. First bit of which is the rundown of the overall podium, because we tally all the points together over the 3 races to get the event, which is going to be one event is dropped rather than one race. So 3 races, 1 event dropped. Lee Piercy, last week's winner on points, from Kieran Haynes and Ollie Atkins. And Lee also voted as driver of the round last week by Callum Grant. Good decision on Anglesey, and Lee Piercy did a very well executed final race. So they were medalists last week. Nothing changed in the top 3 after judicials, we're pleased to know, although there were a few penalties and I think a DQ handed out as well in the course of the judicials with Ian Danaher and Rich Hayden last week. So that's where we were for last week. Again, a quick reminder, April the 12th, Brands Hatch Indy's The Real World Championship gets underway. I'm going to be popping down that day to have a look, as it's local to me and I don't have anything else on. No work that weekend, which is great, so I can go and enjoy Brands Indy. We follow up with Oulton Park, Silverstone National, Donington National, Silverstone 200, Snetterton 200 and Anglesey International, before the big event where everyone wants to come back out is the festival, which again we're all actually, I'm not looking forward to the festival, because that means I'm looking forward to the end of the year. It's too far away. I don't want to get to the end of the year. I want to enjoy my season, but festival is a great way.
I'm still looking forward to the festival, personally. Even though it's that far away.
It's going to be a cracker again, isn't it? It's a great event. Love it. Love it.
Is.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So that's our calendar. I think that's most of the housekeeping going. But what we ought to do is take the time to show you what this particular race configuration, or this lap, is all about. Once again, the hot lap has been done by our multi-champion Jack Smith, who finds himself down in 4th position on the grid at the moment. Once we get going with this, I'm going to ask Tom Nippers to talk through a lap of the GP circuit. So this is one of the cars we're looking out for, Tom. The yellow and blue livery of Jack Smith, as I say, multi-champion with us at Virtual Reality Racing Club. And here we go.
I did have a quick look at this lap before we started the stream. It is unbelievable. Going through turn 1, little lift off there, but it's an absolutely terrifying corner to get right there. And yeah, going into turn 2 now. This corner is particularly difficult to get down the box, because you are braking as late as possible. You've got to get right back over to the right now, so you can get a good run down into the left-hand corner. Then as we go down this straight now, from this, you got this corner beforehand, but it's pretty straightforward. You just flat out, obviously, as you go down to I think how the corner name has escaped me. I have no idea. Brooklands, that's it, of course. Brooklands, you go down here, we're down a couple of gears into the left hand before you go into the right, which is Luffield. And Luffield feels like it takes about 3.5 years. Wow, a bit slidey there, but looks fast to me. Got to use all the exit now. Do we use all the exit on the way out? Yeah, that's perfect. Nothing wrong with that at all. Then flat out through Woodcote, I believe. Am I right there? I think I am. Yeah. Then as we go into Cops now, this is where I think you've got to be extremely careful with track limits. This is where pretty much everyone at the Walter Hayes this year was getting pretty much banned, which wasn't ideal, but that looks perfect to me. Then we got Maggots and Beckett's, which is in my opinion, the most difficult part of the circuit. Going in here, we've got to make sure down a gear here. Yes, perfect. That is absolutely spot on. Yeah, lovely for the left. I'm not sure if we're going down. We're going to go down another gear there. Perfect. And then, got to really make sure you don't run wide here. Oh, we did a little bit, but that wasn't bad. Not at all. You can still carry the speeds and nothing wrong with that at all. And then into Stowe now. It takes a while in these cars to get to Stowe, so it's a bit of a boring straight, but eventually we do get there. And yeah, through Stowe now, we've got to really try and get the car rotated here, because again, track limits on the exit here is an absolute killer for keeping your laps. That's absolutely inch perfect. And then into the final section now. The main thing here is to just make sure you don't completely ruin the lap, because there's more to be lost here than one, and that is absolutely spot on once again. And yeah, that's a brilliant finish to the lap. Actually, usually I'm taking it way more steady than that as we get to that point. But yeah, fantastic lap there was Zach Smith, and that's a 2:11.61. That's a fast lap. I imagine that's probably one of the best.
I think it probably was, yeah. I think Jack picks some, he probably does about 100 field laps and then picks the best ones. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Exactly
and I don't blame him, yeah. You probably do it on your content.
No, actually, I was very lucky with this. Usually in real life, it's very difficult to get a go around the Grand Prix track in a Formula Ford. But this year we actually had the chance to do it, and I don't know if you could tell by my comments there, but I did pole it, which was a miracle. And I didn't win it, but I did pole it, so I should know a thing or two, just about.
Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got to say as the racing goes on. As I say, chip in and give some stick if there's anybody on the grid that you know and you want to give some stick to. So you're welcome to do that. Race format is 2 reverse grid races. The first race is the top 20 in the championship reversed. Callum Enston, 20th in the championship, starts on pole position. You can see it in the bright green car with Christian Gillian behind him. Race 2. Tom, is going to be the top 20 of this race result reversed. And then race 3, we add the points together from the first 2 races, and the top points will start at the front. So they're like 2 qualifying races, really, and points are the same on each of the races. But if I refer to the last race as a final, it's just the final race. There's no extra points or silverware.
Yeah,
but that's the way we work. And we've only changed around, I think, from the second half of this campaign. We used to have reverse all the way through. But actually, the racing's been better, having the fastest guys on the front for race 3, the last few rounds. We've had some absolute belters, so really excited for this. We've got 34 seconds before we get going. We have Alex Forster in red and white, 3rd on the grid. He's worth watching early doors, as is Mason Turner, 4th, from Paul Laramie and Andy Carroll. So Paul Laramie in the lime green and burgundy car, which is on the inside of row 3. So we'll see the start lights coming on, starting sequence coming on very shortly. In fact, it is happening now. Yeah, here we go, ready for the start of probably the longest circuit on the campaign, and we're going to move from the longest to the shortest. Brands Indy next week is going to be interesting. A little bit tardy for Christian Gillian, but this is the moment on a reverse grid coming down. Problem, my screen is frozen, but it's Alex Forster.
I think this kind of glitched because a few too many not facing the right way.
Yeah, it could well be that, actually, yeah. Alex Forster managed to nip through and get into front position. Well, having said that, now we've got... I had momentarily had Craig Curtis coming through into lead position, but Callum Enstone, I think, is now on the timing screen.
Yeah, I've got
taken the lead. Yeah, this is the first big glitch I've had. It's beginning to catch up a little bit. I must admit, internet around here, I'm in South London, is not the best, to be perfectly honest.
No, I don't think it's in. I've had the same problem. But there we are. Okay, we're back now. We're back.
Yeah, Alex Forster in red, Callum Enstone in green. So we're looking for Paul Laramie in 3rd place. Again, lime green with a bit of... Actually, doesn't look magenta. It looks more dark red, doesn't it? I suppose magenta is a dark red if we're getting into colours. But watching the track limits that you described, good move there by Christian Gillian, fighting back into 3rd. Good stuff there, Tom.
Unbelievable move. And particularly around there, as I said about the track limits and stuff, he didn't even go off. He actually, it was good to see a bit of respect there to not to... Oh, there's another crash. There's another crash in the back there. I don't know what's happened there.
That was Rich Hayden. He's Mr. VRRC is off, and I think gave himself a penalty clerking last week. So making him...
That's humble right there.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be as humble as that.
Callum Enstone through into the lead on Alex Forster at Stowe. Lovely move down the inside.
That's a lovely move. That's a lovely move. But it's good racing this at the front.
Here comes Forster down the inside as they go into confidence 3-1. This is going to end in tears for sure. No, they managed to sort.
It sort of worked.
How they didn't take each other off, I don't know. Through Club Corner onto the Hamilton Straight, and it's Callum Enstone. What a race we're having here with Enston, Forster, and Gillian. Not regularly all at the front. We've got Leon Frost in 4th, and watch the red and white car of Leon Frost starting to come through. Then Gabe Norse, 2nd in the championship. Gabe Norse could get the championship lead here. He is in 5th place at the moment, so this could put him into the lead of the championship. So looking back from Enstone's lead, they're all Is this what the water haze is like here?
Oh, pretty much. There's another couple off in the background there. This is pretty much exactly what the water haze is like. That's the issue. You just can't pull away in these cars at all. It's impossible with the. Oh my word! There's another crash in the background there again. You can't pull away in these cars at all with the slipstream. It's unbelievable. The racing is there's literally second to none. Oh, he's been pushed wide there.
Oh, I feel sorry for Callum Enstone there. He's lost out. You've got Lee Pearce has gone up ahead of him now. Gabe Norse is in P2, so it's the red and white boys out front with Gabe Norse now into the lead. Super move on the inside as he came out of Woodcote. But will he be able to get away? This is really good stuff from Gabe Norse. Remember, for 19th on the grid here, Tom, and in a couple of laps.
Wow. I mean, if he gets to the front, I can't imagine anyone's going to be able to stay with him, but we'll wait and see. Hopefully they can. But, well, I'm saying that it's very difficult to pull away around this circuit, as he's about to see. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, somebody going off again into the barriers, sort of a little bit earlier than where Rich Hayden did on the previous lap. And now we've got, Scott Bugner showing us P2. Now, how did I miss Scott Bugner coming up and playing? So we've basically...
I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah, we've basically got the two championship front runners, minus Kieran Haynes. Kieran's in 6th place at the moment, but the red and white car leading is Gabe Norse. He is joint second in the championship. The yellow car is Scott Bugner, who took last week off. Bit of a gamble taking last week off to prepare his own race car. That's what he did. Oh, Kieran Hayes, that's Lee Pearcey going off. Lee back to having some of his rotten luck, which is not good. So it's Norse and Scott Bugner, Alex Forster in the mix as well. Bugner's trying to get around the outside there as well. Bugner getting his nose in front as they come out a club corner and onto the Hamilton straight. It is a real bum fight for the lead, isn't it? Bugner,
there's too much going on to understand what's going on. There's everything's going on. It's all too fast.
Yeah, this is one of our ITV directors had this issue with Legends cars. There was so much going on, he basically ended up covering all the spins. And I said, yeah, the viewers want to see some action, but at the end of the day, you've got to follow a race. Luckily, we've got Steve doing this. He knows what he's doing, and he's planted himself at the front now with Alex Forster and Gabe Norse still side by side. Scott Bugner's going to have a look in yellow as well. Bugner's going to go back up into P2. It's Gabe Norse holding sway at the moment. What are the tactics here, Tom, if you're in front and you've got... I mean, there's plenty of room here. You're saying you can't get away, but, what do you do?
The tactic at this stage, if I was driving, would be survive, and then try and make something happen at the end. Because at the moment, it's impossible. They've managed to let oh my word, that's close. They've managed to let the second pack of cars catch up, obviously after battling at the front, which can be beneficial if you manage to get away and manage to sort of break the slipstream at all. But I again, hard to believe that around this circuit. It's easier at somewhere like Brands Hatch where you've got more corners in terms of in a short space of time, but around Silverstone there's so many long straights between corners that every time you get a straight come up, you're pretty much going to lose 2 or 3 car lengths to the car behind if they're in there. So it's going to be difficult to pull away. I don't actually, particularly when you've got the guys who are at the front of the championship all together at the front. I think this is going to be a long battle, which is going to be very interesting to say the least.
This is what we've been waiting for, really, to see. And in the real world, I very rarely in the championships I work on get to see 2 or 3 main championship protagonists racing together and fighting it out. It doesn't happen that often in a campaign of 20, 30 races. But it is happening here on the sim, which is what we want to see with Gibson.
This is the beautiful part about the sim, is that there is no discrepancy in everyone's in the same thing. Everyone's got and everyone's in the same thing. They're obviously all very close to equal. Oh my word! Oh no, that's
Alex Forster.
He had a good recovery though. They're back on with it. That's not the end of the world, but it's going to be a fair fight to catch back up there. Oh my goodness!
There's a watering hole up north called the Hop Cavern, and they're going to be shouting at me for saying you haven't mentioned Oliver Gibson getting into the lead, but Oliver Gibson has got it.
I completely missed that again. The second and third place, the 2 people, actually, they're all, never mind, sorry, the 2 championship contenders, they need to sort of, work together now to catch back up if they're going to be, if that's even possible. But we're waiting to see now. But otherwise, he has got a nice lead. But again, he's probably still not out of slipstream reach. But he's not far away, actually. If he can break that second mark, he might be close. But it's whether the second and third place decide to work together. And it looks like they're going to, actually, which is... Or are they? All touch and go? No, they are. I think they're working together to get back for the lead, which would be more interesting. Oh, that's a mistake.
Oh,
that's a mistake. He's run wide there. Oh, it's very easy to tangle wheels there. That happened a few times at the Walter Hayes this year.
Yeah, very easy to do, isn't it? And Luke Cooper's in 4th place, the blue car, and then behind Luke we've got Kieran Haynes, who's closing up as well. He's in blue and white as well. So Kieran Haynes, remember, joint second in the championship with Gabe Norse, who's 3rd in this race. And Ollie Gibson, who is 7th in the championship, he's only 20 points down on Luke Cooper. He's missed a couple of rounds as Ollie, so don't think, with all due respect, he's going to be in with a shout for the overall championship. Where is Jack Smith? Is Jack Smith racing tonight? I haven't checked my notes on who isn't with us this evening. I can't see.
This looks interesting. Oh, God.
On board Callum Enstone, he's still in the top 10. The other thing we have to do, Tom, over the course of the 3 races, think about who might be driver of the round over the 3 races. So I'll try and sort of ping you towards someone who's normally lower down the order that's doing well, but other than that, I guess the top runners are going to speak for themselves over the course of the
Of course.
event.
I mean, I shouldn't be. I'm not to do with the driver of the day, but I shouldn't be rooting for anyone, of course. Not looking to be biased, but I am rooting for Luke a little bit. He's doing a bit of a wonder work in 4th place there. See if he can actually keep up with the leaders, because it's unbelievable. When I've done a bit of the sim stuff, whatever I've tried, but on iRacing and a set of course or whatever, and I've done my best to get as good as I can, but it's unbelievable how good some of these guys are on the sim.
It's great practice and good entertainment for us. So Scott Bugner tries to look for 2nd position again. Oliver Gibson now has got arrested the fastest lap away from Ollie Atkins. So Ollie was running in 10th, I think, when he got the fastest lap. He's now up into 7th, so he's still quick, is Ollie Atkins, climbing his way through as well, which is good. And Scott Bugner, is he going to work, as you said, with Gabe Norse immediately in front of him to try and close up on Oliver Gibson? And I'm really impressed with Ollie Gibson here, because he's another driver that's worked his way through quite a few cars in the early stages. Alex Forster still running strongly off the front from in 6th position. Christian Gillian 8th, Callum Enster next up from Sam Gumbley, who has turned his fortunes around the last couple of rounds. So if Sam gets in the top 10 in all 3 races, again, could well be a one to look at for driver of the round. But we're looking at Scott Bugner at the moment. Where can he get through on the inside of Gabe Norse? Or is he just going to work with Gabe now, try and close down Ollie Gibson? The gap around about a second at the moment as they come onto the national pit straight. And
yeah, he looks he's fallen off him a little bit there, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because if they're if there's a little bit of a gap, it means that at least could be not battling into every corner, which is usually what slows you down. But looking at Oliver Gibson's pace there, that's unbelievable. Round here, to be setting the fastest lap whilst in the lead is an extremely tricky thing, particularly when everyone's in, obviously equal cars or whatever. Or if I'm not sure the setups are, but they're at least equal in terms of the machinery. That's that's a seriously good effort to be taking fastest lap in the lead. He might be very tricky to catch if that's his pace.
He's running well. Just having a quick look at ballast. Ollie's got 7 kg. Largely due to previous championships with VRRC. Gabe Norse has got 9 kg and Scott Bugner's running 8 in terms of ballast, which is one of our non-realistic bits of Formula Ford.
Yeah. But it's still close. If it makes the racing better, of course. But they look. I think to me it looks like the gap from 1st to 2nd, Gibson to Norse, is looking very the same, so it's looking static. So it's going to be very difficult for Scott in 3rd to be able to fight back the urge to go for that 2nd place. But if I was him right now, I'd be thinking, if we fight, we're not going to catch him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm wondering whether Kieran Haynes, the 2 blue and white cars, whether Kieran and Luke in front of him are going to work together to try and close in on 2nd and 3rd. Scott Bugner's looking like he's getting close enough to have a bit of a nibble here, and yeah, it's just work and sort it out. Those opening laps were really frantic though, but it has calmed down now.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Scott in 3rd is definitely close enough to make a move. It's just a case of if he wants to, because if he does, that's probably going to let Gibson in the lead get away. I'd be a battle for 2nd to 3rd now would probably be the end of the fight for the lead. But it looks to me like he's pushing him along and trying to catch. So we'll wait and see.
The thing that Scott Bugner's going to have on his mind is that this is all about championship leaders, where there's only a point between these two. So whoever comes out on top in this race will provisionally lead the championship after this race. Yeah. Because it's 30 points for 2nd, 26 for 3rd. There's fastest lap point as well, which is currently with Ollie Gibson. So at some point, I'm thinking that Scott Bugner is going to say, yeah, stuff the win. I do need to finish ahead of Gabe, because if he gets points off of me, I always need to be in that situation where where he's in front. Kieran Haynes runs a little bit wide, having got into 4th place now, and Luke Cooper's going to try and get back on the inside. They're side by side as they come through Beckett's and then through Chapel, dropping away a little bit at the moment. So the top 3 are closer. 4th and 5th are battling it out. Haynes and Cooper. It's still Kieran Haynes who is there at the moment, was our driver of the round on the Donington Park event. And Kieran was actually tipped by Luke Cooper as being a possible champion of this one before we even started. And as I say, currently joint second in the standings with Gabe Norse. That will probably drop to 3rd with this one, but he came up to 2nd last week. Scott Bugner again tries to have a go. Back to Christian Gillian, who's dicing with Leon Frost out front at the moment. So Christian with Paul Laramie behind him. There is Paul. And then Rich Hayden in 11th has recovered well from his off earlier on as Forster and Gillian work together. Ollie Atkins, in fact, up ahead of Alex Forster at the moment, so Forster trying to close down on him. And Gabe Norse now gets the fastest lap. Bonus point, remember, for fastest lap. He's in P2, and yeah, equidistant gap, isn't it, still at the moment, Tom, to Ollie Gibson out front. And here comes the 3rd place car having a go. Scott Bugner was having a look there. This is going to slow Gabe up. He's got the fastest lap point, and that's even more reason, isn't it, now, for Scott Bugner to have a go and get up into P2.
That's the change. I think that'll be the. I think that should allow Gibson to probably end up winning this race now, because I can't imagine looking at their pace between Norse and Bugner. They look to be probably around the same pace, but Gibson they haven't been able to take any time out of him. And I think, to be fair, I think that's probably because I think Gibson was probably out of the tow pretty quickly, so they weren't getting any advantage from him being in the lead. And now they've decided to battle. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the race for the lead gone. But as you've said, there's championship fights on the cards for these two, and they could be allowing their man behind them, Haynes, back into it as well, which might not suit either of them. So we'll have to wait and see how this unfolds now. But this is close. This is too close, if you ask me.
It's very close indeed, isn't it? As we get our aerial shot of the cars heading through the various Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel complex. It is still Gibson out front. Now under pressure, though, is Scott Bugner for P2, and Gabe Norse maybe just fancied a little bit of a breather. He's still got the fastest lap in P3, and he's going to have a go as they head down the hanger straight, and he looks to the inside, tucks back in. Let's see what he does as they come down into Stowe corner. And still line astern at the moment, working together.
They've taken a bit of time out of Gibson there, though. I don't know what's happened there, but they look like they've taken time out of him. So it might be worth getting their head down for a little bit longer, because it's quite funny when you're in a position like this. You're sort of mutually agreeing to put yourself both, because obviously at the end of the day they both want to ruin each other's race as much as possible. But if they manage to catch the leader, they might be able to think like, well, if I get the win, manage to push the either other into 3rd place, that's a much bigger gap to take the points. But it's a tough one here. But I think if they've got to be careful, because if they do catch Gibson, all of a sudden then they can they could end up taking more points off the other, or they could be the other one or the other way around. So it's a tricky battle here. Yeah,
they got to have their thinking heads on, haven't they, really, to try and work out what they need to do. Rich Hayden's done well, actually. The red, white and blue cars come through. He's one that went off sideways at, I think it was lap 1 or lap 2, recovered into the top 10. So good stuff from Rich, 11th in the championship. And ahead of this, we've got Paul Laramie. He's 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. So Sam Gumbley behind.
The come down.
Yeah, Sam Gumbley goes up.
I can't really see the timing, but the gap to the lead looks like, oh no, hang on, it might have just been a bit temporary. Oh no, it definitely looks like come down.
Here comes Rich Hayden. He's going for the burn up round the outside into Brooklands. That's got to be brave.
Oh, that very rarely works. It's one of those moves that always feels on, particularly at the Walter Hayes. It's one of those moves always feels on, and every time the guy on the inside can just, they can just run you out as wide as they want. And generally speaking, they're never very kind.
It's tricky, isn't it? Open wheels. I remember seeing Colin White do it in a Ginetta G55, and I can't remember who was co-commentating when he said, "Oh, he's not going to do that." And Colin's an ex-oval boy, so he knows the outside line, and managed to pull it off, which was a super move. But yes, a lot more difficult. And one of the great things about single-seater racing here, Tom, is that in sim parlance, you can't just crash into the side of each other. You have got to give that respect and respect the fact that the cars are open wheels and can tangle.
Oh, it's incredible how quickly something that looks to be a very minor incident turns into an absolute airplane crash. Particularly in these cars where there's no, obviously there's nothing to stop you, like the wheels spitting each other into the air and stuff, which is just, it's. I've had a couple of those. Unfortunately, they are terrifying when they happen. I've actually had one at Silverstone this year with a good friend, Jordan Dempsey, but he wasn't, my best mate for about 5 minutes because he sent me airborne. But it was a good laugh. We had a good time the whole weekend.
You guys do get over it quite quickly. I mean, there was some spirited conversations on the podium at Brands, at the festival. But by the time you get in the Kent again, like everyone's happy again.
Oh, that's the game. To me, that's the whole game, though. The whole, it's never. We're out there. We're all trying to win. We're never going to do everything completely. I don't want to say fairly, but we're always going to try and do whatever it takes to beat each other. And then, within 10 minutes, we understand that's what the other person's done. And to me, it's I don't get offended personally if someone's wiped me out. It just annoys you for 5 minutes.
Well, I'm going to log that and remember that for the festival for this year. We'll be down pit lane.
I'm shouting and swearing at the festival when someone's wiped me out. This doesn't bother you. Yeah, well.
Alex Foster's trying to get on terms here with Leon Frost. These two guys having a good race of it at the moment. Leon 9th in the championship, and Alex Foster now up into 7th in the race. He's got Ollie Atkins ahead of him. Ollie Atkins still scoring well. He's really done so well in this championship, Ollie Atkins. He progressed so much from the first 2 rounds, where he was like, in sort of in the 20s positions wise, and now regular top 10, always on the podium or thereabouts. Only got 38 seconds left. We're gonna squeeze another lap out of this, do we reckon?
I think this is going to be close actually, but the leaders they definitely look like Bugner and Norris definitely look like they're catching Gibson here, which is, if they can get another 1/10 of a second forward, they're going to be into that slipstream. But the problem is they're having to defend. Bugner's having to defend because I'm assuming this is the last lap then, or it's very close to it. Oh, that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well. That's too hard. Oh, is he getting? Oh, why is it gone? Where's it gone? Oh, no, they've touched.
Oh, they did.
He's got that. Oh no! That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. We didn't see the whole thing. I'm not sure if that was okay or not, but
it's going to be Ollie Gibson. That's taken away. That one might go to the Clark. We had a couple of things. I was
going to say, I think Ian's going to have a busy 5 minutes after that one.
the Snetterton.
Great win. That's a great win.
Yeah, well done, Ollie. Super stuff. Gabe Norse, great second position. And they were racing. They were having a go, and that's what you want to see. I think the pair of them, Scott and Gabe, had similar theme going on at Snetterton. When you come out of the... it's not a hairpin on the 200. When you come out of that sort of turn 2 and go onto the back straight, and they'd had a bit of a coming to it. So it's kind of, for me, the sort of antidote to what happened, or the opposite of what happened at Snet. So Ian will look at it, so will Rich Hayden, but Gabe Norse getting the better of that one from Scott Bugner, and Gabe going into the championship league. Kieran Haynes is behind as well in 4, so Kieran up there championship wise as well. Luke Cooper 5th from Ollie Atkins, then it was Leon Frost, Alex Forster 8th from Rich Hayden and Sam Gumbly, Andy Carroll 11th from Lee Piercy and Chris Blakey, Callum Enstone 14th from Paul Laramie and Cian Haig. Welcome back, Cian. Oliver Castro next from Potter and Craig Curtis, with John Jones. Welcome back, John. He's in 20th from Andy Dorman. Aidan Ingram 22nd. Christian Gillian down in 23rd. I'm not sure if we saw Mason Turner after the first couple of laps in that one. So that's a rundown of everybody that here. Still well supported, considering we're in our penultimate race of the campaign, or penultimate event of the campaign. And we'll have our first podium interviews in just a minute after this advert. So good to see a little bit there on the ad break about the Real World Championship, a little bit more information. I know many people were up at Race Retro going to talk to Alan and all the former forces up there. Sorry I couldn't make it myself, but it looked like it was a great show. And thanks everyone for popping in and chatting to Alan and making themselves known. And I hope you all enjoyed it. We're going to enjoy the interviews coming up. First of all, it is Scott Burgler. Welcome back, Scott, Championship leader coming into the round, but just by a solitary point. What happened on those last few corners?
I think the bump draft and the toe off of Ollie and the bump draft from Gabriel, I just carried way too much speed in. And it just put me sideways. And luckily enough, Gabriel was on the inside and it straightened me up. So, yeah,
Okay.
it was a good race. It was a good race. It was bumper to bumper, and we tried to work together, but we just couldn't quite catch Ollie. We were gaining like a tenth a lap, and then Ollie would pull away by a tenth. So, yeah, it was good. It was very full on.
And does it help having a week off? Because you had Tuesday night, Tuesday night off racing for this, but you were busy prepping the car, weren't you, for Real World?
Yeah, I nearly made it back in time, but I didn't get back until race 2, and I thought, you know what, I'll just drop this round. I had so much going on. I had a track day at Cadwell on Friday just gone, so it was a bit all go last week. But yeah, no, it's nice to be back, and hopefully we can be leading into brands.
I think you just lost the lead by a couple of points. I think Gabe had fastest lap as well, and there's only 1 point between you guys. And 30 to 26, so he's 4 points clear now, maybe.
I will get it back in the next one.
Exactly what we want, Scott. It's great to have you back on the podium. So superb job, and good luck with race 2 a little bit later on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Scott Bugner, great to have him back on the podium.
Yeah, well done,
and
Scott,
also,
brilliant,
Thank you.
sorry.
Also
Also, second position goes to Gabe Norse. Gabe, well done. Super race. And, pretty much a regular on our podium now. And a really good race. I mean, you were up front, then you were second, and then Scott got in front of you, and then you got back in front of Scott. So it was hard work. But for us, it's great to see the main drivers in the championship battling it out, particularly at the early stage of an event like this.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race there. Managed to pick my way through at the very start, and then by the end it was me, Scott and Ollie at the very front. And yeah, in the final couple of corners I think both me and Scott lost the rear end into Stowe, which was a bit funny, but yeah, I think overall quite a good race.
It amazes me obviously you've done quite a bit of sim racing. I don't know how much you normally do, whether it's on like European configuration, because a lot of people when they get on the sim say, yeah, we won't stick with the brands and Silverstones and Doningtons, we'll go off and, do all the world events. But Silverstone GP, so much space, and yet it in this formula has given us such really good close racing.
Yeah, it always seems to bring a very good race around Silverstone. I mean, obviously I do quite a lot of sim racing, and it's always like on tracks just everywhere, like in America or Australia. But yeah, I always try to drive Silverstone quite often because it's one of my favourite tracks, and I really like the GP configuration that we're racing on tonight.
I love it as a venue, and when touring cars go to, we only get to race with the touring cars on the national circuit, but even that produces great racing. And a lot of people look at me and say, what's your favourite track? And if I say from watching or commentating Silverstone National provides some great racing, people don't get that, but it is a super place to watch. Good start to the campaign anyway this evening, and of course got to do it all again now in race 2. But if you do well in race 2, having had a decent score in race 1, you're going to be near the front in the third one anyway.
Yeah, hopefully again in this race we can pick our way up to the front. But yeah, I just hope to be in like the first 5 positions for race 3, because then that will mean we can just have a very fun battle with everyone that's obviously very quick tonight.
And will the tactics change on Brands Indy, because that's a much smaller, tight track? I think we're going to get into lapping drivers as well next week with it being a short lap. Or are you not really thinking about that yet?
All eyes on Silverstone at the moment, I'd say, to that.
I think you got fastest lap as well, so there's no doubt in the pace. And obviously going to be the guy to watch for race 2.
Yeah, I think the pace was there in race 3, race 1 even. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes in next race.
Very good. Well, Gabriel, great to have you back on the podium. Well done, and thanks for entertaining us in that one, mate. A cracking drive. We'll talk to you a little bit later on.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Gabriel Norse in P2, and our race winner, Oliver Gibson. Ollie, I'm going to start with an apology. They say never start with an apology, and I'm sorry I don't have them. Yes, I have. It's that I didn't mention you getting into the lead. Where on earth did you come from?
Oh, where do I start? They were drafting each other down the I don't know can't remember what it's called, the straight before Stowe, and I just got in behind them, and then went to the outside, made it 3 wide, and just no idea how, but just held it around the outside of Stowe, and then that was that. But it probably looked easy in the lead, but honestly, I never ever want to have another race like that again, because I've never been so sweaty after a race. But no, that was hard work.
No, I know exactly what you mean. How important do you think getting the lead there and pulling that second or so gap you had, how important do you think that was? Because I think you got to a point where the slipstream behind you wasn't having the effect it would if they were a couple of tenths behind you, and it looked like you just had to try and hold on to that sort of second gap for as long as you could.
To be honest, it was the only reason I won. That second gap. I think in a set of course, I think in this sim, it's 0.4 is the slipstream range. So I just knew I had to sort of keep it above that and hope for the best. And obviously towards the end, especially that last lap, I think it was about 0.5, and I was like, please don't get any closer, because I can't be bothered. Yeah, I just couldn't be bothered. I was so tired. I was like, just stay away from me, please. But no, that 1 second gap was really crucial, and was the reason I won, I think. So
You're always too modest on it. It's the third win of the campaign, and you've missed 2 events as well. So have we seen you at all of them? I've no doubt you'd have been up there, dicing points wise with Kieran, Gabe, and Scott, and indeed Jack at the sharper end of things.
Yeah, it's a shame. Obviously, I'm at uni at the moment, so I'm sort of in and out of home and uni. So sometimes I'm not here we're here for the racing where my rig is. So I had to miss first round and last week. So it's a shame, but I think, well, obviously when we get series over the summer, I'll be at home, so I should be able to do all of them when I'm back at home. But I think we are in the fight for the teams. But obviously I missed last week, and then Jack's missed this week, so it's a bit of a uphill battle. But who knows? We'll see how these next 2 races, and then obviously me and Jack should be racing next week, so hopefully.
Is all well with Jack? I know he missed the first round due to illness, so is he okay? Is he working or?
Yeah, he's I think he's going down for Donington tonight, so I'm working tomorrow, so he's not too bad. So he's fine. He's I'm sure he'll watch this back at some point and be like, oh, that could have been me. He'll be back next week and beat me, so can't wait.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to Brands, but we've got 2 more races this evening to look forward to. So well done, Oliver Gibson, first winner of the evening of our penultimate event. Any thank yous you want to get in, or are you going to save those for another race?
Oh, I don't know if I'll get another podium, so I'll just a big shout out to my parents who are watching, and obviously everyone on the car, Hobcav and Sherman Rubber. I think I got some friends first time watching as well, so
oh, nice.
Shout out to them for their support, and clearly it's a good luck charm, so hopefully that continues, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think they are. They're definitely more good luck charms than me commentating for you, so well done. And good luck for the other 2 races, Oliver Gibson. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, thank you.
Well done, that was great.
Cheers.
So, 2 more races to go, and we've got 1 more reverse grid race. So the reverse grid for race 2 is the top 20 reversed from race 1, which on my timing screen is showing Chris Blakey as up. Whether that is correct or not, I've got to jiggle around with the phone and timing screen and just work out what's what here on the results and have a look. Let's have a quick look down, and as we it was John James was actually 20th in the first race. So we've got Chris Blakey is showing on the front as well. So we've got John Jones, Craig Curtis will be near the front as well, with Kat Potter, which is going to be interesting to watch as well. Kat, who is, for those of you who haven't watched the racing very often, elder sister of Thomas Potter, only female in the championship, only woman in the championship, and we do need more women. There's a lot of women coming into real world racing now, but I don't see as many in the sim world, which I find a little bit weird. And I did have a conversation with a couple of people over the winter about trying to promote getting more females involved in sim racing, and it's something I need to do actually and follow up on. So yeah, it'd be good to see more like Kat Potter, and Kat's doing well, learning as each event goes on as well. So she should be near the front in this one as we head to the grid. There indeed is Kat Potter on third position on the grid. John Jones, the man from the Isle of Wight, starts on pole position. Craig Curtis next up from Kat Potter. Olave Castro fourth in blue and white. Then it's Cian Haig fifth from Paul Laramie. Callum Enstone seventh from Chris Blakey. Lee Pearcey quite handy in this one, and Andy Carroll. I would suggest the ones to watch here, Tom, probably off the start, will be Craig Curtis in P2. He had a couple of podiums last week, and he's very quick regardless of where he starts. And probably Paul Laramie and Lee Pearcey. Chris Blakey's going to be quick as well. Yeah, always a bit of a lottery to work out who we're going to follow in this one. But the big scorers in race one, still with work to do, starting at the back of the top 20. So loads of ground to make up here to get good points to set themselves up for race three.
Yeah, no, they've all just had a full 20 minutes of practice essentially, and for a race conditions round Silverstone, because it's all well and good doing practice laps around any track, but the second you race it, it's a very, very different story altogether. So now they've all got that. Who knows? It could be a completely different race, but I imagine we're going to be looking for those three again to come through, and it's going to be another pretty, brutal race, I imagine.
Actually, do you know what? You're the first driver to make that point, and I've raised that with people before. It is different, isn't it? Being sim practicing to actually getting out in the race. So I'm glad that you picked up on that. But yeah, that's totally different dynamic, isn't it? Here we go, though. We're getting ready for the start with the lighting sequence about to get underway. John Jones starts on pole from Craig Curtis and Kat Potter, and away we go. Best of luck, everybody. It is Olave Castro. Yep, looking to get up into P2. John Jones making a decent enough start. This is, again, it was very crowded through the first few corners of race one. Let's hope that things are a little less frenetic this time. Kat Potter dropping down behind Paul Laramie at the moment, with Callum Enstone challenging her, with John Jones still leading, with Craig Curtis coming under pressure from Olave Castro. It's Jones leading at the minute, though. A little bit of contact further back. Castro and Cian Haig, I think, having a little bit of a coming together. Rich Hayden's up into top 10. Yeah. Kat Potter's down to 10th at the moment, unsurprisingly, as they go down the Wellington Straight for the first time. So it's John Jones leading. And I'm guessing this could be pretty nerve-wracking if you're in a single-seater race at the front for the first time. Yeah,
I remember when I was first leading a Formula Ford race or whatever. Well, actually, I've always said this as well, that the crazy part I find with sim racing and the real racing is that the actual adrenaline rush, that racing feeling is exactly the same. It is terrifying. And as Oliver Gibson was saying in the last race, he was sweating the entire time, and I know that feeling well. It's horrible, particularly when you know it's yours to lose.
I wonder if Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor would sweat if he was in that position. We wanted to get topical. We won't get topical though, or controversial.
Well, yeah. I think we'll move past that one.
There we go. So
probably
Craig Curtis
is the answer. Probably.
Craig Curtis leading this one. John Jones in P2.
That's
Curtis.
gravel. Oh my word! There's a huge crash at the back. It's about 10 of them off.
Yeah, they should really be the ones at the front having go as Lee Pearcey tries to challenge Olave Castro for third place. Craig Curtis has made an escape here though, and that's what he needs to do. Yeah,
that's going to be very, very. It'll take someone with a real pace advantage to catch that back up, because that's well, he's well and truly who was it saying last time? Was it was Oliver Gibson when he was saying it's if you've got 4/10, the slipstream's no longer effective, which is, he's got 2.5 seconds nearly now, so he's going to be very difficult to catch unless someone's got a major pace advantage. So it might be a game of against the clock for him. See if our top contenders get through quick enough.
So the big story, one of those cars going off that you spotted was Scott Bugner. He's way down in the lower ends of the 20s at the moment, with Gabe Norse up into 6th. So Gabe Norse could be
Advantage Norse Championship as we head towards the last round of the year. Excuse me, as Lee Pearcey challenges Paul Laramie for P2. Need to get a bit of a wiggle on these two, really. Try and close down.
Scott Bugner's actually in the pits. He's actually in the pits there, so he's out. He's properly out of that race, which is that's a disaster for him.
Yeah, it's not what we wanted. It's probably not what Gabe Norse wanted as well. He would want to have a race. Still got next week, and of course, a lot of averages say that there could be an issue next week for Gabe. We hope not, but the championship again. Oh,
oh my word! That's a big off. That's going to be going to the start. That's the Clark's have a word of that one.
Just losing control going into Brooklands there. I mean, that's the sort of thing you can probably afford to do on the sim, but it's not great on anyone you take out.
It's definitely more expensive if you do it in real life. Definitely. It's not, and it's also just it's not a nice conversation to have when you get back.
No. Do you know what? A lot of people forget about how expensive it is just to go racing, and get a pristine car on the grid at the start of the season, and then just how expensive it is to have that sort of moment, and especially when it's not your own fault as well. It's as you said, I'm guessing heartbreaking, and your head can drop. You have to have a fair amount of money, don't you, spare?
It's a funny thing. I mean, I've just my last race of the season, I ended up with a pretty big crash, and that was, I think it was fair to say, was definitely out of my control. Couldn't really have done much about it, and it's the thing is with these cars as well is that some of the components are very rare and difficult to get hold of, and we still haven't got hold of the components we need, and it might delay our season, which is it's a crazy thought, really, particularly when it's not even your fault. It's a horrible thing to happen, but it's a funny thing with the expenses. Even for us, when we're doing it all ourselves, it's still getting the parts. It's not a cheap game, motorsport, which is obviously a very restricting factor, which is why I love sim racing so much, because it's a much more, even sim racing is not cheap, but it's a much more attainable thing for people to prove just how good they are. And we're seeing a few drivers out there right now who are, they're proving. I genuinely, I've driven these cars now for a few years on the real thing. I would not even be within the top 10 of this race, I don't imagine, which is, go and do this on the sim. They're so incredibly good at it. It's amazing to watch.
But then if they made the move to the circuits, they'd be struggling to try and keep up with you on the circuits, wouldn't they? But
of course. But it's a much, it's a much less attainable thing, isn't it? It's to get a go on the sim is possible, which is and I have seen a few of the sim drivers come in and stuff, and they've had really, really good seasons. I remember Lucas Blakely, who I think primarily came from that he's well held. I know Lucas Blakely, who came and did a few Formula Ford races, actually ended up winning a few in the VRRC Championship a few years back, and he was primarily from sim racing, and it just goes to show how good these sims can make drivers before they get in the cars,
Yeah, it's good practice, really good training ground. The more you practice, the better you can get.
Use it for practice. I use it for practice in real life. I just use it very badly.
Yes, any seat time is good seat time, just getting yourself in the zone for the track where you're at or whatever. Paul Laramie's dropped there. He's in 4th place at the moment. So it's Craig Curtis from Lee Pearcey. Gabe Norse now up into 3rd, and on board with Chris Blakey challenging Andy Carroll. First look at Andy Carroll this evening as he's looking on the outside run here. This is going to be the brave run from him. Oh, a little tap on the back end.
I think that was more than the tap.
Coming down hangers straight.
I would describe that as a crash. Oh, he's off as well. He's off.
Yeah, it was well caught by Steve, our director, as well. He's picking the battles very well again, is Steve. So Curtis Pearcey, Norse in 3rd, Chris Blakey next up, Rich Hayden coming up here into 6th place at the expense of Callum Enstone. So Callum Enstone will try and get the position back. Kieran Haynes behind him. Kieran Haynes is scoring well again, so he's up into 8th position. So scoring pretty well, Kieran, at the moment. And this sort of consistency, you mentioned about Scott Bugner being out, so I think it's going to be between Kieran and Gabe for the championship lead, heading off to Brands Hatch. This is not a round. I mean, Scott Bugner's not in a position to drop another round. He'd had one stinker already, and then wasn't here last week. So that's it's going to be a shame for Scott. He was having a good go as we watch Enston and Haynes having a really good battle of it. Craig Curtis, 3 seconds. Yeah, you said that was done, wasn't it? That early lap when he got away, and Lee Piercy's going to have to do something very special to close in by 3 seconds.
Particularly when he's showing such strong pace, they're not even really bringing any time down at all. You know, I was thinking it would be more a game of, particularly when you saw how quick Gabriel Norris was in the last one. You know, I was just thinking, how long is it going to take? Is he going to get there in time? But I think at the moment that looks very unlikely with that level. That's 4.5 seconds now to Gabriel Norris, and obviously Lee Piercy too. We'll see how he if he can take any time out of him. But 3 seconds is a lot of time in 11 minutes.
Lee Piercy here, a couple of championship issues, Tom, is Lee Piercy could go 4th in the standings instead of Jack Smith, who's not racing today. And Kieran Haynes will, I think, stay in 2nd, but ahead of Scott Bugner, it will be Gabe Norse. So we've kind of got to watch what Kieran Haynes does from 7th position in relation to Gabe Norse, because ideally we want the pair of them having race 3 together and having a bit of a bum fight in race 3, which is going to be interesting to see. I'm not sure. Kieran's quite a way down, isn't he? Because he's 4 seconds down on Rich Hayden, so he's got a lot of work to do. Chris Blakey running strongly here. They're in 3rd place, trying to close in on Gabe Norse in 3rd, ahead with Lee Piercy in front of him. Piercy, incidentally, is Rich Hayden's teammate, so good team points being scored here by the VRRC team.
One off there, was it? Was that someone off there? I thought I caught someone facing the wrong way, or was I?
It's Lee Piercy. So yeah, Lee Piercy off the podium. Chris Blakey now on the podium, and Lee dropping right. He's not had a happy round, Lee Piercy. As soon as I mentioned he's on the podium,
what did he do? I didn't even see that.
Either win it or bin it for Lee at the moment. Driver of the round last time out. It's going to be a different one this time. So Craig Curtis now 4.6 seconds clear. The new 2nd place man is Gabe Norse. Really good points for Gabe. And again, you know, sometimes you can have, you know, Gabe's had some rubbish races where luck hasn't been with him, but over the course of and I'm not going to call it a championship winning campaign yet, but you know, potentially championship winning campaign, it evens out. You get a bit of rubbish luck, and then you get a few races where, you know, Gabe's kept out of trouble by his own skill in the early stages here and wound up in a good P2.
Yeah, it looks like he's taken a bit of time out of the leader too, so it's we'll wait and see if he can actually make a dent large enough, because obviously if you start catching towards the leader, that puts the leader under a bit of pressure, and then there's room for mistakes around here. Oh, that's a big... Oh, sorry, I just got a lag spike, and it made a car went flat out into a wall, but he's back on the track now, so I think it was a lag spike.
That was Luke Cooper dicing with Leon Frost. So Leon, who's joining the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Championship for this year. I hadn't mentioned Geoff. Apologies, Geoff. I know Geoff watches these broadcasts, and thanks, Geoff, for all your support and for joining us and getting stuck in. We had a Geoff joining us earlier on in the campaign as well. So good to have him along. And next week, Rick Shortall joining us on the co-com. So looking forward to that. Rick was signing his book up at Race Retro as we now go on board with Leon Frost, with Luke Cooper still behind him. He's having a go at Callum Enstone. Callum is getting quicker and quicker in our sim series, round event by event, championship by championship. Regular top tenner now is Callum Enstone. I think we first saw him in the Mini. We had the official Mini Championship last summer with Ria Beauchamp from the Mini JCW Mini Championship getting involved pretty much as Alan Bowles has done on this one, and did a really good job with us getting, you know, real world co-coms. And Tom Nipper's really following in the footsteps of Tom Ingram, because we had Tom Ingram co-commentating on one of those as well.
I've not met Tom, but I've heard he's a right laugh.
He's a good lad, is Tom Ingram.
Yeah, no, I've heard.
Good little peddler as well. So yeah, Craig Curtis then. I'm probably at the stage where I can use the curse of the pencil or the curse of the pen and write Craig Curtis down as the winner of this one. He won't thank me if I do, if he goes off. Gabe Norse might do, but it's Curtis Norse.
He's taken Gabe Norse has taken he's a good half a second out of him on that lap. But the problem is this lap is about, well, obviously it's over 2 minutes long, so I think at that rate he wouldn't quite get there. But if he gets within a few seconds or a couple of seconds even, all of a sudden the pressure is really on if you're Craig Curtis. So I wouldn't. It's not over yet if he can keep taking time out of him. But at the same time, if he just keeps a cool head in the lead there, he should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and based on what we saw last time on Anglesey, he was very, very quick and took 2 podiums, second and third. We hadn't seen a win from Craig Curtis, but Craig, a driver that, because of work, can't always do all of the rounds in championships. And I think the last time we saw him as a regular was in the mini championship. I was talking about the official mini championship, and he I think he was leading the championship when he finished about 2/3 of the way through the campaign. So he was, I think we called him partial champion because he had to go to work. But he is quick but just not always able to finish campaigns due to work. And as we heard from Ollie Gibson, a lot of drivers are, away studying. We've got Jack Smith working as well, so it's sometimes difficult to ping together evenings to do this. There's Chris Blakey on for a podium. Trying to work out if Chris has had a podium or not. He has. He hasn't had a podium since Snetterton. It's only 2 rounds ago, but was second at Oulton Park. So good to see Chris back in a podium position. Not that far behind Gabe Norris, not losing that much time. And then we've got Andy Carroll in 4th. And again, Andy has had a 2nd place, which was on the national configuration here, which was our 3rd event. So he's running well too. And this is Luke
Cooper.
Cooper.
The round was absolute carnage. Oh, speaking of carnage.
Yeah, Luke Cooper having a go. He's trying to get past Callum Enstone, and I think Luke had the most consistent top 10s in the early part of the campaign. Had a couple of bits of bad luck since then, but always quick and like very neat move down the inside of Callum Enstone, giving each other room, and Callum's coming back.
He's got it back as well, hasn't he? Yeah. Good. Oh, Luke's straight back in again, though. Oh, that was going to be close.
No, just good fair racing, isn't it, from the pair of them? Alex Forster watching and learning as well as they...
Well, that's Luke all over in real life as well. Luke he's one of the cleanest drivers I've ever seen. He's also one of the fastest drivers I've ever seen as well. He's unbelievably good at what he does.
That's nice to hear. So that's an accolade coming from a driver such as yourself. As we go to Rich Hayden, 5th from Kieran Haynes at the moment. So Kieran's still in 6th, still in touch. I mean, 6th to 2nd points-wise is going to be 18 to 30. I tell you what, Gabe Norris is really taking points out of Kieran Haynes in this one. It is going to be all to play for at Brands, but I think tactics on a tighter circuit are going to be absolutely key over those 3 races. It's going to be a fascinating last round. And the last round, not one that we allow drivers to drop. So you have to do the last round, which is kind of a VRRC thing. They like drivers to turn up on the last event. So Alex Forster, this was what you were saying earlier on. Once you get battling, it allows drivers to close up.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to let him through there as well. Oh my word, he might get the pair of them here if he's smart. But Luke's defending. Yeah, Luke's not giving an inch down the inside there, which I don't blame him for. I wouldn't either. This is it's one of the, as you were saying about the difference between this place and Brands Hatch is that here it's a much more realistic place to make overtakes all throughout the race, whilst at Brands Hatch track position is much more important because of how tight and how the slipstream's a bit less effective and stuff because it's less gap between corners. Oh, bit of a mistake there. For was it Forster? It
was Alex, yeah. Yeah, it just went in a little bit close, lost the momentum and allowed Luke Cooper to go back in front and into 8th place. So
Gabriel Norris has taken another half a second out of him, but I'm pretty sure it should be a nice as long as Craig Curtis keeps his head here and doesn't make any big mistakes, he's going to be absolutely fine for the win here.
Oliver Gibson's down in 12th, our previous race winner. He's got the fastest lap at the moment. So Gibson, I was going to say only in 12th, but yeah, stunning race 1 for him, but just struggled a little bit getting through the field here. Might have got caught up in some.
He might have been involved in that big accident at the beginning at the back. That looked like it might have taken about half the grid out of it, so he might have been involved there. I think it was a good effort, whoever caused that.
I think you're right. That will be looked at by Ian Danaher Thursday morning for sure.
Oh yeah. I don't think Ian will think it was such a good effort.
Probably not. Not. Have you been up in front of Ian?
Oh, unfortunately, I haven't, and the reason I haven't is very funny. It's because Ian and we have a conflict of interest, and that's that Ian unfortunately gets his MOTs done by my dad. So if I was ever to be in front of Ian, I'm pretty sure it'd be quite unfair on the other driver. So I've never actually been in that situation, fortunately for him.
Is he local to you?
Very, yeah. Both South Wales and Newport. So he's very, very close. Get on with Ian very well, but he's helped me out a few times, but not in the clerk's office because that I'd accept would be probably a bit unfair on the others.
It's good that you've done that. So you've been up in front of the clocks, but so when did you declare that? I mean, do you sort of go in and say, no, I can't talk to him because we have that kind of relationship?
I've never declared it myself. I've never like declared it or anything. But I think I'm not sure if Ian has. He might well have, but we're aware that if we were ever to be in the front of the clerks, I don't think it would be. I'm not actually sure if I've ever been at a round where I've been in front of the clerks and it was actually one Ian was. Because we don't always have Ian. We have, if we go to Castle Coombe, for example, we've had Ian before, but I remember I've not been up to the clerks there, so I might not have actually had to deal with it yet. But I think when we do have to deal with it, that's going to be one Ian's going to have to deal with. Funny enough, not ideal. But I think when I'm sure inevitably at one of Ian's events, I'll do something wrong, and I think when that happens, I don't think I'll be in. I think they bring someone else in to make the final call or something. I remember we've had to have this conversation before, but we've not actually had to deal with the situation yet. So we'll have to wait and see till it inevitably happens, and I end up firing someone off for something I shouldn't do.
Spent far too much time talking about Tom Nippers in the clerk's office on this one, but we'll go back to the race.
That's the story of my life, unfortunately.
All right, Kieran Haynes then we're looking at the moment is in P6 trying to hunt down Rich Hayden, also hunt down points on Gabe Norse who's running in P2. Chris Blakey at the moment is our third podium driver. 1 minute to go on the clock. We're trying to pick out where we are in terms of race leader and lap, but very nearly at the end of our second race, and it's going to be Gabe Norse on pole, I think, regardless of who finishes where, as they come through Copse Corner. Yeah, it's going to probably be for the last 42 seconds on the clock, or maybe they will squeeze another one out because the race leader's going to be.
I was just thinking that. They might get
further.
One more. It's going to be close.
Further down the road, it is good on going back to Clark, but not in relation to yourself. It is great that we do have an official Clark looking after things because it means that the drivers know that you can argue with the Clark and you can argue with the referee as footballers do. But if you've got the actual official guy from the championship, that just rubber stamps it for me. It's great that Ian's done it, and good for Alan Bowles for all
and Ian's brilliant too. Ian's one of the best clerks I've seen. He takes a very good neutral view of everything, which is quite difficult to do when you think about someone who's actually doing that job. And I know he's had a lot of things to. I've seen him deal with things in the past, and he's dealt with them very well. And very heated situations he's dealt with well. Is that the end of the race then? It looks like it because he's weaving across the line.
Yeah,
that's a great win. That's a great win. Dominant.
Super stuff from Craig Curtis. Gabe Norse, though, what an evening for Gabe Norse. 2 podiums, really cracking stuff from reverse grid racing. Brilliant from Gabe in P2. Chris Blakey, he's back on the podium as well, so we get to have a chat with Craig and Chris as well as Gabe. Andy Carroll in 4th from Rich Hayden, and then Kieran Haynes, I think, back into P2 in the championship in 6th from Leon Frost. Luke Cooper in 8th. Good drive from Luke. Andy Dorman 9th from Ollie Gibson came through for.
That's a fantastic drive from Ollie Gibson. I was just about to say that he's he was I don't know where he was with a couple of laps to go, but it wasn't 10th, and he got the fastest lap as well, I believe. I'm not sure. Gabe Norse pipped him on the last one. Oh, did he? Oh, wow, that's a good effort.
Yeah, so Gabe, another point for the championship for Gabe Norse. Going to be advantage Norse going into race 3. Where did we get to? Ollie Gibson 10th, Mason Turner from Kean Haig. Good result from Kean Haig there in 12th from Paul Laramie. Christian Gillian, Sam Gumbley 15th from Alex Forster and Callum Enstone. Cat Potter 18th from Ollie Atkins. Caden Cook 20th. Then Aidan Ingram. Robert Shepherd 22nd from John Jones. Olavo Castro 24th, and disappointment for Scott Bugner and Lee Piercy. And we'll have a chat with Messrs Curtis, Norse and Blakey in just a couple of minutes.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
Welcome back. We were just talking about the BAFTAs and our own awards happening now with 3, 2, 1. We're going to start with third position. Chris Blakey back on the podium. Good to see you back on the podium, Chris. I think the third one of the campaign, if I remember correctly. Tough racing out there, though, at Silverstone. It amazes me, as I said for the interviews in race 1, being a fast and wide track, just how close the racing has been, particularly in the early stages.
Yeah, evening guys. Yes, definitely. It is ridiculously close, and considering the size of Silverstone, you think there's loads of room, tons of room. We can get 30 cars around here. It's just so tight. Like the cars just. I had a horrific first race, but just it feels so claustrophobic considering the size of the place. It's weird. Small cars, big track, still feel claustrophobic. It's weird.
That is strange, isn't it? And is that because you're used to racing you're racing a BMW normally? So does that make it feel different for you? Sort of going down racing a Beamer down to being in a single seater?
Possibly, but it's the fact that the racing's so close. It's not like you've got a car front back that you maybe battling with. You've got 3 cars in front of you, 3 cars behind you, and 2 on each side. So it's just especially the first couple of laps where everybody sorts themselves out, and then just once you get into that rhythm and there's just that pace of running, that was crazy. It's very, very quick pace, and any slide was enough to give half a second front or back. So it's good. It's great racing. Great racing. Been loving it.
I can't recall. Probably asked you this before. What was your background before BMW? Was that your first sort of foray into racing? What did you watch before that?
I been watching touring cars and GT cars and Le Mans ever since I was a kid. But yeah, I only started racing in 2022, so that's when I finally got the funds together to go racing. Apart from remote control cars, which obviously I raced that quite a competitive level, but they're a tiny bit cheaper than real cars. So.
That's true. Although I guess you can spend some serious money on that, like you can on rigs as well.
You can indeed. Like everything escalates, and when there's drivers racing rock cars who get paid more than I get paid, it's a hobby. It's a business. Anything can. It's a money making scheme. So, but it's an entry into motorsport. Like so, nothing beats the thrill of being in behind a car. Racing's racing. You still get that close racing feel, but you don't get the say. It's just not quite the same. Never be the same as this.
So having had a decent result in that one, I think being on the podium, obviously you score decent points, so you'd be nearer the front for race 3. Fancy your chances in that one?
Middle probably, because I finished 13th the last race, 3rd in this one, middle-ish. So first corner's a lottery. We'll see how we go.
That's good. Has this series opened up your eyes to single seaters at all?
Definitely, yeah. I went to Race Retro at the weekend. Had a wander around. Had a look at the cars and that. I didn't try to get into it because my back's still playing funny buggers, and I didn't want to be cut out. I didn't want to have to be cut out of somebody's car in case it went. I'm not risking that. So I'd love to have a go. I don't know. I don't think my missus would ever let me race them, but I'd definitely love to have a go with them. So.
I was wondering, you still having the back problems. Is it easy enough to get signed off, or do you just have to sort of? I'm working through it. It's possibly due to the crash that I had, because it started a couple of months after, but I still had my hands on the wheel when at the impact, and my hands bent the steering wheel, so obviously there was a fair number of force going through my body, but it's right between my shoulder blades. That's where the worst bit is at the minute. So right. Have you taken any been to a chiropractor or
yeah
like
physio hoped he could sort it. He hasn't, so I'm back at the doctor's, so I'm getting
good luck
stuff, so fingers crossed we'll be right.
Nice one. Well done on the podium. It was lovely to have a chat with you, mate, and well done. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium again for race 3.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, guys.
Yes, Chris Blakey in 3rd position, and a second interview tonight with Gabe Norse. Gabe, what a drive again. Fastest lap, extra championship point, putting daylight at the top of the table now. It's not too early for me to say that, is it? You've been in this situation before in sim racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite nice to be back at the top of the table. But yeah, in that race, it was quite difficult to catch up to Craig. He was quite quick at the end. But yeah, the fast lap point's definitely going to help. And yeah, I saw that Scott was quite far down the order, so for me that's quite a bonus.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to get another sort of wheel-to-wheel race, but it can play out at Brands Hatch, and it's nice to see you getting two good races together when you deserve them as well. Because I mean, we always see drivers, talented drivers, fast drivers, having bad luck from time to time. I'm glad that hasn't happened for you thus far this evening.
Yeah, I've had some pretty decent luck this evening, so hopefully there's nothing silly that happens in race 3 and we just all have quite a clean and fun race.
You're off the front, so lights to flag?
Yeah, hopefully.
I think anyone would be brave to bet against you. I'm going to move on and grab a quick word with Craig, but I'm going to say well done again, Gabe, and hopefully we'll have a chat with you after race 3 as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, mate. Gabriel Norse in second position. And Craig Curtis, hopefully a slightly longer interview than we got from race 2 last week. But well done on getting to the top step of the podium in Formula Ford.
Yeah, wasn't expecting it after race 1. I ended up on my roof after turn 2, so rejoined in the pits, and then I thought I was a lap down, but I was on the lead lap, so I managed to claw my way into, I think it was P19, so I knew that would be reverse grid P2, so I thought, right, I had some good pace on this track during the week, and yeah, just I thought if I can get by John Jones, he's known for his defending, so I managed to get him down into Vale, I think, into Luffield, I think he was, or Village. But yeah, so I managed to get by and then managed to build up a bit of a gap in the first few laps, and I could see the guys behind battling Lee and Gabe and Chris, and so I thought once the pecking order starts to settle down a bit, then I saw the delta with Gabe on its way down lap after lap, and then the tyres began to go with a couple of laps left, so yeah, just managed to hold on at the end.
How do you feel about the difference between, I mean, obviously talking to you as a podium finisher, well, now winner, what's the difference between here and Anglesey? Because they are different circuits, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's getting a knack of driving these cars. Obviously, I think it's only my third race in this particular championship now, so it's a shame I've not been, sort of there or thereabouts. But hopefully that won't be the case with the touring cars. But yeah, it's just knowing once you get the driving style right with these cars, because there's no aero, it's purely mechanical, and you can't brake and turn at the same time because the rear will just go on you. So you have to be very intricate on the brakes and the throttle on exit as well. So it's but the difference between here and Anglesey, is obviously here is a much more wider circuit, less undulating, so, and hopefully a bit better wheel-to-wheel racing as well, which we'll see in race 3 hopefully.
Yeah, I hope we do. I was chatting to someone yesterday. We were talking about F1, actually reflecting on some of the comments I had with Callum Grant last week, where he was saying that he'd been testing various historic Formula Ones, and we're saying that a lot of people are saying, yeah, Formula 1 actually prefer Formula 4 to Formula 1 because it is that much more even in terms of, no aero to worry about, no silly little wings and people faffing around with this, that and the other. It's a lot more pure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think was it Ayrton Senna that said back in the day. I think it may have been about go-karting, but I think it's more, more or less the same thing with these. But yeah, the racing is good. Like I said, it's a shame about race 1. I was just unsighted, and when I came through the cloud of brake smoke, I just saw a car sideways in front of me. So yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, looking forward to this race, and hopefully we'll have a good one next week at Brands Indy as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Craig Curtis, great to have you on the top step of the podium. It was wonderful to have a chat with you, whether you're on the podium or not. But top step, well done. Another winner for our championship, which is good stuff. And good luck for race 3.
Cheers, appreciate it. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Craig. Craig Curtis, our winner. Gabe Norse in second position, and Chris Blakey completing our second podium of the evening. Silverstone GP, penultimate event of the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Esports Series official. As well, it is. It's been a really good series, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed every round. And we're looking forward to Brands as well. And I hope that we're going to do this again at some point as well. We'll keep you posted on news of that as and when we get the chance to do that. We've raised the bar has been set very high in terms of co-commentators. Again, Tom Nippers, this one is kind of a little bit more traditional because we've got the top point scorers on the front of the grid here. Gabe Norse and Ollie Gibson. This is where we rub our hands together and expect a race, isn't it?
This is going to be some. I was just about to say that. I'm glad these two at the front. Well, it's a shame about Scott Bugler down in 10th because he looked like he had that sort of same pace as these two. But I imagine with these two, I can't imagine they're just going to work together and pull away. I think they're going to have a nice little bun fight. So I think this is anyone's in the top 10 if they can just all keep themselves together and keep behind these two if they want to, unless they decide they want to pull away together. But from what we've seen so far, I think that's unlikely.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The context for me, Gabe Norse has got championship lead to think about. Oliver Gibson has got nothing really to think about. I mean, he's there or thereabouts championship.
Very true. Very true. Two totally different mentalities.
Yeah. Kieran Haynes is going to be thinking about consistency. He's in third, the first of blue and white cars. Craig Curtis will be quite happy to go for a win, the man we just heard from, and he's capable of doing it from there. Luke Cooper hasn't had a win yet. I would dearly love to see him get a win at some point, and he could do it from 5th place. Chris Blakey in 6th could do it as well, and then you get to the likes of Andy Carroll, Rich Hayden. They've all won races with us before. Leon Frost has won races as well, Scott Bugner. So, everyone in the top 10 is...
There's everyone's got something to fight for, and it's very funny to think that these top 3, one of them hasn't got anything to worry about. I think that's going to be the dangerous bit. See what he does compared to the other 2.
Well, we're underway. Good luck, everybody. Here we go then. The final race of the evening.
Get away from someone there.
Go quick then. Scott Bugner getting away quickly as well. It's a fine field of Formula Fords to get alliterative as they go down through Abbey for the first time. The left-hander then at Farm Village, the right-hander, then into the loop at Aintree, which will bring them back onto the Wellington Straight for the first time. And yeah, decent enough start with the fastest drivers at the front. Technically, things should be a little bit more straightforward. There's the timing screen's lighting up with little bits of contact a little bit further back, but it's Gabe Norse from Kieran Haynes and Ollie Gibson, Craig Curtis in 4th, Luke Cooper in 5th place, and I think they're going to let the settling down happen in lap 1 and then go for it.
That's how it looks to me as well. I think it's Scott Bugner's had a great start there as well, so he's already back up the a couple of positions, so he's already not too far away from getting towards that top 3 or 4, which is going to be the I think that's going to be where it's all at. But Gabriel Norse looks to have already broken that 4/10th barrier that Oliver Gibson was talking about earlier. So it's going to be between these the 2nd and 3rd man now to what they want to do. Do they want to catch the leader? Surely they do. So that's going to be I think a bit of a hold on that fight for now. I think they're going to work together and try and catch the lead back up.
It's surprising we haven't had Kieran Haynes, who's immediately in front of us here. We haven't had him on the podium for an interview so far this evening, but obviously he scored well, and I think that's been Kieran's approach to the championship. It's not necessarily always been about pace. He's had the pace, no mistake about that at all, but he's been a consistent finisher, and it's just stood him in such great stead over the course of the rounds that we've had so far. And now he's got the opportunity perhaps to work with Ollie Gibson right behind him. Craig Curtis coming under pressure from Luke Cooper. Cooper looking to the outside in white and blue. So a good battle going on for 4th place as well. And Steve, as our director, has picked up on that superbly. Thank you, Steve, as ever. Great effort. Chris Blakey and Scott Bugner down behind. Blakey in the yellow and black car. Scott Bugner in the all yellow trying to close up. And of course, what you won't want to do is lose too much ground. Scott Bugner on the race leaders. Blakey very nearly goes into the back of Luke Cooper, but managed to check it up in time.
Just about, and it looks like the top 3 are all back together now. So that slipstream barrier is completely gone. So it's going to be it's going to be. Oh, that's a move for the lead, isn't it?
Yeah, Kieran Haynes is having a go, isn't he? Here, so Kieran Haynes P2. No better time to do it than the fastest off the front race for Kieran Haynes. He's been just making sure that he's been there, picking up points in races 1 and 2. Is he going to be able to deal with Gabe Norse here? Norse with the fastest lap, the first flying lap. Oh, actually, this is the first flying lap, isn't it now? So let's see what will happen there. Oliver Gibson back in 3rd. Craig Curtis and Luke Cooper still dicing.
Here we are. The weaving down the straight has started. No one wants to give the slipstream up, but they're going to have to, unfortunately. They're going to be followed.
Is Luke Cooper going to make a move down? He's too far back there to make the move at the moment. Now he's got Scott Bugner down the inside of Chris Blakey. Momentarily, it's not momentarily, it's permanently. He goes back up in front of Chris Blakey. Blakey under pressure from Leon Frost, who, again, I'm surprised not to have had Leon Frost on the podium at this event. As Norse continues to lead, there is Leon Frost busy chasing Chris Blakey at the moment with Andy Carroll and Ollie Atkins behind them. We ride on board with Leon coming into Copse Corner, heading down towards the... It was interesting you saying on the flying lap, on the demonstration lap, this is the tricky bit of the circuit for you. Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, definitely. I did this... We did the Grand Prix circuit at the start of last year, which was just, a bit, obviously a privilege, because very rare you get that sort of opportunity in a Formula Ford. And we didn't have a test day, so obviously we've done the international track and the national track, but the one bit you don't do is Maggots and Beckett's together. Oh my word! We'll ask to go on hold for a second. It's 3 wide for the lead. This is Oh, is that Gibson? He's got Kieran Haynes, but he's going to get them both, isn't he? He's got them both. Wow, that is some move.
Yeah, superb stuff outside at Stowe. Kieran Haynes is going up into P2. He's got the inside run as they come down into Vale. That very well held on by Norse there.
Yeah, they've got to be careful. I mean, saying that, they're not too concerned about Oliver Gibson. They might just let him walk away with this one if they're more concerned with each other. But I don't know. This is going to be, they've got to sort of sort themselves out. They want to keep the race win on the cards for themselves. But at the same time, as we've said already, they're not interested in that. They're going for each other. They need to beat each other, not necessarily Gibson. They might let him. They might not give him as hard of a fight for the win. But I hope they do, because that would make it a lot more interesting.
Yeah, we just want to see a Formula Ford race here, don't we? So
exactly.
Looking back, and Kieran Haynes at the moment in P3. We're looking back from Gabe Norse in P2, as you can see from the timing tower. Luke Cooper is close to them as well.
He's right back there. Yeah, I was about to say that. Luke Cooper is well and truly in it. And you can see Scott Bugner there behind Craig Curtis as well, who was obviously on the podium last time as well. So this is going to be a hell of a... If they can keep Gibson within their reach and not let a leader get away, this is going to be something pretty special, I think. Is that... Hang on. Wait. I've just missed that. But oh, no, they're right on the leader. They haven't let anyone get away. Ignore me.
Gibson went wide, North through on the inside as they exit Woodcote, so he's back into the lead. Now what can Gibson do? He's going to probably fight back. Kieran Haynes will want to get involved as well. They're getting very, very close indeed. This is what you guys do for real, isn't it? 100%.
I was going to say, this is reminiscent of a Formula 4. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. I think this is going to be a very good race. Yep, I was saying about Maggotts and Beckett's about we probably did it a total of about 30 or 40 times over the course of the race day. We didn't get a test day on it because you don't do it on either of the. Obviously, it's a combination of the national and the international. It's literally the crossover between the two, as we see someone go off there in the back. But we don't get to do it, and I reckon I did it 30 times, and I don't think I got it right once. So it's a tricky place to get right when you're seeing it for the first time.
It was Leon Frost was the first car to go off, and that was Scott Bugner.
That was Scott Bugner off, was it? I thought it was. Oh,
yeah, the red and white one to go off was.
Gibson.
Oh, Gibson and Haynes. Gabe Norse is rubbing his hands together here, isn't he? Because they're all getting stuck in. Luke Cooper gets a side swipe as well. Actually, that was Haynes, wasn't it, getting the side swipe? Luke Cooper was P2, and here comes Craig Curtis up into second now, with Luke Cooper getting his elbows out and getting stuck in. And back into P2, so it's Gabe Norse laughing all the way to the bank here at the moment, points-wise. Got in front where he needed to be, was deposed momentarily, got back in front, and that's paying off for him now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to catch Gabe Norse now. He's obviously got the pace to nurse that home from there, and he's a couple of seconds into the lead. It's going to be very tricky for anyone to catch him now.
And don't forget, I think I probably know where this might go, but Tom, I'm going to ask you later on to consider match of the day style, who driver of the event or driver of the round is. So if you want to start to think about who that might be, and we'll ask you for that towards the end of the race. But it's Gabe Norse out front at the moment, Craig Curtis P2, but under pressure from Oliver Gibson, who's going to go for the sweep round the outside here. Is he going to get it done? He's going to carry on. The momentum, of course, takes him to the outside of the circuit. Actually ends up losing a play. That's classic as well.
That's so easily done. It's so, because you're trying to get a move around there, and it's so easy to lock up as you obviously you're having to change gear as you go down. You got to go down in the gears as you're braking and also turning into the left. And these cars don't like that unless you're getting that heel and toe and absolutely spot on. So that's a tricky place to try and pull a move like that off, and it's not quite worked out from there.
Got to have a go. I can't believe that everybody's still involved. Kieran Haynes in 5th, Luke Cooper now down to 6th, but still very much involved as Gabe Norse continues to break clear, nearly 2 seconds clear of Craig Curtis at the moment. So Craig on for potentially another podium with Oliver Gibson next up, then Kieran Haynes, and Kieran's Luke Cooper, Chris Blakey all getting stuck in and having a good race of it at the moment. Let's see whether Kieran can get back into 3rd place. So Kieran in the white and blue car, the yellow and blue of Oliver Gibson. Now this is the run down hanger straight, tees up the inside as they come down towards Stowe. This is Ollie Atkins on Lee Piercy, I beg your pardon. So Ollie Atkins making good progress as well.
Yeah, lovely move, that nice simple one. Got the slipstream, made the move down the inside. No, I was going to say no dramas, but it's not over yet by the looks of things. Oh no, he's just about kept it.
Not even at the halfway stage yet. We're into the 9th minute of this one. Gabe Norse again with fastest lap. He really has done so well at this one. Was it fastest up in race 1 as well, Gabe Norse? Race 1, race 2.
Yeah, he didn't quite get it in race 2, did he? But he was, he still was very, very close to the fastest lap in race 2 because I know he did it at one stage, but I think it just got nicked off him by Gibson, wasn't it?
I think it was the other way around. I think Gibson had it earlier on, then Gabe got it on the last lap.
Oh, so he might have in all 3 then, does he? Well, so as of now, obviously.
Yeah, if he stays there, depends how much pressure he gets put on him. But Craig Curtis still in P2. Gibson third. Here comes Kieran Haynes. So Kieran trying to get on for his first podium of the evening, and he's been very, very good at these fastest off the front races. Massive points in races 1 and 2, Kieran Haynes, and then just uses his race
very
to
unlucky
chip
not
away.
to be on the podium so far as well. Very unlucky.
Yeah, due one here. I thought Luke Cooper was going to be up there or thereabouts. And he's still in the points, Luke Cooper. I mean, still running in 6th place, up ahead of Lee Pearcey.
No, anything can happen from there.
They've still got 9 minutes to go. If they all work together, where's Craig Curtis? He's on his own, isn't he, at the moment? So Craig and Ollie kind of need to chum up a little bit and have a go at Gabe Norse, but I don't think that's in their script. They are relatively close together. Here comes Gabe.
Did something just happen to Craig Curtis?
Yeah, he's down to 3rd, isn't he? Oliver Gibson's now up there. So
Something's definitely going on. Something changed.
I think that was
The
Craig.
leader definitely extended as well. So
Yeah, this is what Gabe North said. Lights to flag. Yeah, I hope so. He said he's done that. He's gone away. It wasn't without pressure in the opening stages, but he dealt with that, and that's what you've got to do. So Norse from Gibson with Kieran Haynes next up. We're on board with Oliver Gibson. Kieran Haynes trying to close up. Again, good steady stuff from Kieran. And P2 going into, if he's P2 in the championship, going into the last event, we've got another 3 races to go. We've got 35 points on each race. Kieran Haynes could sort of sneak in here as champion. He's only got Gabe's only got to have 1 bad race, and the consistency of Kieran Haynes that we've seen over the last few rounds could still get him the championship.
yeah, as we've seen as well with Scott Bugner as well, who looked like he was I couldn't imagine after that first race he was going to be anywhere other than the front, but he's been very unlucky, and it goes that way sometimes. Oh, is that Luke Cooper getting the brunt of that? It was, wasn't it?
It was Luke Cooper. Yeah, he's fighting hard again, ever present almost in the top 10. I think there was a penalty put him out of the top 10 last week, which was unfortunate. North's now 2.37 seconds clear of Oliver Gibson. This is a good one for Gabe here, because Oliver's taken 1 win, Craig Curtis a win. Gabe's due a win, actually. Gabe Norse took the race 2 win on Anglesey, 1 at Snetterton. Didn't get a win on Anglesey, had 2 wins at Oulton Park, which was his maiden one. And sort of Gabe Norse really coming into the championship for event 2. You could argue had 1 hand tied behind his back. He's not had the luxury of being able to drop scores because he didn't do the first round. I think it was a registration thing.
What's that there?
I think that's Craig Curtis, isn't it? Yeah. Hardlines Craig. We're not going to get another chat with Craig today, which is a pity, but hopefully he'll be back for Brands. So that leaves us with Norse, Gibson, Haynes, Blakey, Cooper, Pearcey, Rich Hayden's been quite consistent this evening as well, up in 7th from Andy Carroll. Paul Aramid's had a good one as well from Andy Dorman in 10th. Mason Turner is 11th from Leon Frost. Scott Bugner, when I looked a couple of laps ago, Tom, he was down in 18th. He's up into 13th now, Scott Bugner.
Yeah, he's getting back on with it. He is. I think he's going to be a bit too far back to make a real dent towards the front, but it's still a proper good effort to get himself back involved.
Here's Lee Pearcey, who had an engine blow apparently in the second race. Again, better to have an engine blow virtually than in the real world.
I was going to say, how does that even happen? I mean, fair enough. It's a
Changed
shame.
it, probably.
Must have gone down the gears a bit quickly.
Very possibly, yeah. How much does an engine set you back now for FF1600?
Oh, I would rather not think about it. No, I'm joking. It's
okay. You don't have to answer.
No, I'm only joking. With us, it's a bit different because my dad does the engines. My dad's an absolute. I would describe him as a psychopath when it comes to these things. He knows everything. So he knows everything. He's got too much. He couldn't let anyone else touch it. Oh, that's a late move. Oh, he nearly pulled it off. But he's yeah. But they're a good few quid now. I'm not sure how much they are. I've heard lottery numbers thrown around for some of the great ones, but I think you're looking at thousands of, £6,000 to £10,000 or something insane for engines, which is luckily something we've not had to worry about.
So yeah, it's quite handy, isn't it, if you're looking after them yourself?
It's particularly painful when they're going up in flames.
Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, look at Lee Pearcey at the moment, and he was in 6th. Now down to Paul Laramie, who is all over the back of that. Andy Dorman's had a quietish round. The guy normally involved in the drag racing scene, Andy Dorman. So actually, I always remember one of the brand's commentators saying, if he likes drag racing, he would like the straight flat bits at Silverstone.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's
was that Robin?
It's definitely one of the. It's definitely one of the tracks with a lot more straight line action. But it's surprising how different that makes it in terms of what you've got to be good at. I think with Silverstone this year, the bit that I remember when I ended up losing the race, I had pole position and I ended up losing the race, and I think I put that down a lot to inexperience of dealing with being at the front,
Right.
because you've got to be so switched on with how you're going to defend, because if you defend too early, for example, that's a pointless exercise because you're going to have to do it for 20 minutes. But if you can with 5 minutes to go, all right, I'm not going to defend yet, and then you lose the lead and that's it, that you can't get it back. But it is a very different thing. Whilst at Brands Hatch, for example, if you've got the lead, it doesn't matter if it's lap 1 or lap 21, you're going to be holding on for dear life because it's going to be so difficult to get it back.
Going back to that comment, the brand's comment, Robbie Murphy, that was the guy's name, the commentator. He used to be very direct. They were quite proprietorial back in the day because your brands would have their own commentators, their own staff doing it. Robin was one of those, and he was always very critical about Silverstone and never understood why, because we've seen how great the racing is here. And Silverstone, of course, is a fantastic venue, and it must be because it wouldn't have held on to the Grand Prix as long as it has done.
Yeah, I've always thought about it because in Formula 4, we've got the two big ones at the end of the year, haven't we? Got one at Silverstone and one at Brands Hatch, and to me, I've always seen Silverstone as the better race to watch, but
Yeah.
I think the festival at Brands Hatch is the one I'd probably rather win, in terms of But if I was going to go and watch one of the events, the ones at Silverstone are just absolutely carnage because it's almost impossible to pull away unless you're Gabriel Norse, and then he's finding it easy.
Yeah, it would be interesting to put him out in a car, wouldn't it, for one of these? For real.
100%.
I hope he gets the chance. I know that there are conversations happening and all that sort of thing with some of the drivers that are involved in the esports here. So on board with Kieran. Kieran Haynes might be on for his first podium. This is going to be very well earned from young Kieran, who arrived on the scene superbly at our first event. He was second in race 1, took a race win in race 3, Brands Hatch GP, and yeah, when he gets into car, I don't think he's even old enough to do car racing at the moment, but when he does, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, is young Kieran Haynes, and he's up ahead of Chris Blakey, trying to close down on Oliver Gibson, who is 2.8 down on Gabe Norse. So this is another great drive by Norse, but also Oliver Gibson keeping him relatively close at the moment, if we can call just under 3 seconds relatively close, but Oliver hasn't done a couple of rounds here, so hasn't had that much time in this model of car as they head down towards the Vale again. How long we got? 2:21. Oh, we're nearly in the closing stages already. Have to start to ask you to think about, I'm sure you've been doing it already, driver of the round at this stage?
I definitely, obviously we've only really had our eyes at the front, and I can't, with what I've seen, give it to anyone else other than Gabriel Norris. He's been absolutely, I'd say, as flawless as possible for a Silverstone race like this, because it's been absolutely carnage, and he's kept himself clean. He's got himself the fastest lap in, I think it's got to be all 3 races, or at least 2 of the 3. And he's going to walk away with the 2 firsts and a 2nd place, which is just an unbelievable result.
He's done really well, hasn't he? It's been super. I agree with that. Thank you for picking that. But yeah, Gabe is there. Let's hope nothing silly happens on the last lap to spoil that. Curse the commentator and all that. Probably won't happen.
It's
2.5 seconds clear of Oliver. Oliver's had a good round as well. It's been good to see. Kieran Haynes in 3rd. Here is Kieran in 3rd position. 1:23 on the clock. Still actually with a shout of closing up on Oliver Gibson. Chris Blakey's had another good race. Chris Blakey's had a good event as well. He's in 4th place. Been pretty consistent, so it might have been on the cards as well. But yeah, Gabe Norse, absolutely 100%. That's who I was probably thinking about at the start of this race as well. When he got away, he's been challenged. He's dealt with everything, hasn't he? He's come through the field when he needed to in the first 2 races. He led off the line well in this one and responded to pressure. He lost the lead and he's come back and he's had fastest lap. It's been the complete package, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been as flawless as I think possible for a track as difficult to stay clean as this. Because it's so difficult to race around here and be as dominant as that. But he has been. He's been absolutely flawless.
It looks like I think this time they will squeeze an extra lap out of it. So
yeah, I was thinking that. It does look close.
yeah, I think that's the difference between having the fastest drivers off the front, and he's had a fairly clean run coming down into Stowe past the Porsche complex. The Porsche complex on that used to be a rally sprint stage there, which I've commentated on a fair few events on the rally sprint. It was a shame that they moved that away from Silverstone. It was a great little venue, and we had some tremendous fun over the years working on that.
I think this might be it. Actually, it looks like he's going to cross the line after the. Yeah, it is. It's gonna be
you're right. Good spot, Tom. So it is Gabe Norse that's going to take roughly about the same time as the number of laps as the previous race as well. Gabe Norse makes it a third different winner of the evening, but a third podium for him, and deservedly our driver of the round. Oliver Gibson takes another podium in second position. Kieran Haynes gets a maiden podium of the evening and takes third place from Chris Blakey. Next up was Lee Pearcey, so good recovery from Lee in that one. Andy Dorman 6, Andy Carroll next up from Mason Turner. Then it was Paul Laramie, Rich Hayden completing the top 10, I think. Let's just have a quick look. Now it's Paul Laramie ahead of Rich Hayden. Leon Frost 12th, Luke Cooper next up. Chris Blakey got fastest lap on the last lap by the look of it as well. Yeah. Luke Cooper 13th from Alex Forster. Kian Haig 15th. Good stuff from Kian. Callum Enstone next, Cat Potter. Christian Gillian, Craig Curtis, Sam Gumberley 20th, Lavo Castro 21st from Robert Shepherd, Ollie Atkins and Aidan Ingram with Caden Cook in 25th. I'm sure what happened to Harry Irvin later stages of the meeting, which is a little bit of a pity. That was our run through of all of our finishes. Thanks everyone for racing with us this evening, and stay with us for our podium interviews, which will be coming up in just a minute. Last interviews of the evening here at our virtual Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, the Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Esports Championship, official no less. And on to our interviews. We're going to start with third place. First interview of the evening. We had two interviews with him last week. It's Kieran Haynes. Kieran, well done. Consistent evening. Decent points. Got you up near the front of the grid for race 3. And probably a bit frustrated that Ollie was in front of you maybe, but talk us through your evening.
Yeah, so race 1, I don't know where I started, but I came from the back to P4, I believe, and race 2, it got a bit messy into Marcus and Beckett's. There was like a massive car pileup, and I got absolutely demolished into it, so I got a bit caught out, and so did Scott. So in race 3, it put me third, and then I had a good launch. Got me up into second place, I think it did. And then Oliver behind me, we were just working together trying to get a Gabe. But of course, Gabe had just such a good pace at this whole race. So well done to him. And yeah, put me second place in the championship, I can see right now.
Yeah,
29 points behind Gabe, I think. And
yeah, and it's it's not as close as it was last week. I mean, there was a point, wasn't there, between you, Gabe, and Scott, and now, yeah, 29. So it's, but 36 points available from each race. So, you know, we don't wish bad luck on anybody, but if there is bad luck, then the championship's still wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, I think looking at the overview, some of us gained like 96 points, so it's definitely not over until the final race.
Have you done any practice on Brands Indy yet, Kieran?
No, I haven't. I've been practicing the touring cars, so that's why the driving was a little bit off.
Oh, so that's a nice story. So you're staying on for our next championship as well?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it, but Rich asked me, and I was like, oh, why not? And yeah, touring cars are not my strongest point, so I don't expect much.
Okay, well, I'm not doing the first couple of rounds of those, but I'll expect to see you up at the sharp end from round 3 onwards when I join. But Kieran, lovely to speak to you on the podium. Well done. You've been a real star for this championship. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week going into Brands. Enjoy the practice on Brands, and have a great week. Well done.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Kieran Hayes in 3rd position. 2nd position in the 3rd race goes to our race 1 winner. So it's double podium for Ollie Gibson. Again, cracking race, Ollie. Well done. Couldn't quite get in touch with Gabe, but being up at the sharp end, you know, shows your pace, which you've done well. And I think you're only 6 points behind Jack now in the championship.
I was going to mention it. I'm coming for him, but no, that was a good race. Obviously, it would have been nice to be anywhere close to Gabe, but yeah, no, I'm happy with overall tonight. Obviously, the win was good, and then 2nd race was a bit disappointing. But considering I made a mistake during it and dropped all the way back down to 20 something, right, and then came back up. So I was pretty happy with the recovery, and then obviously this race was pretty good as well. So overall, not too bad. I think I did have my results up. I don't know if it's my highest scoring round, maybe. I can't quite remember.
Let's have a look. You had a 5, 6, and 8, a 13th, 1st, and 5th, 6, 1, 8. I think you've been pretty high through most of them. Yeah, it's going to be nip and tuck whether it was your highest one.
I think it is. Yeah. So there we go. Not bad.
That's all right. One of the things Kieran was saying was that he's not looked at Brands Indy yet because he's been busy with the touring car. And I take it you're going to do the touring car championship as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have you had any drives in that? So does it take away some of the prep that you might have been doing for Formula Ford?
I have been driving the touring car. It is completely different to this. It honestly feels like a boat compared to this. So, but no, it should be good. The race, me and Jack did some race testing, and they raced really well. So I'm expecting some good things from it. Track list, I believe, is it out? I can't.
Yeah, it's up. We're going to show the graphic before the end of the program today.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, I've got it up now. Yeah, good tracks as well. So I'm expecting a very, very fun and competitive season. Obviously, with the two different cars as well. So and then Rich won't be surprised which car I'm choosing. So yeah, looking forward to it.
That's good. That's good. But anyway, it's going to be a nice way to follow on from our wonderful Formula Ford Championship that we've had, and good to have a double podium for you. So well done, Ollie. Have a good week. Look forward to catching up with you for our final round at Brands in 7 days.
Yeah, you too. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Ollie. And race winner, a triple podium. Absolutely amazing stuff. Gabe Norse. Well done, Gabe. And pleased to say that Tom has picked you as our driver of the round as well. First driver to double up on that honour in this series. So many congratulations.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you, Tom. And yeah, I mean, the triple podium's very good. I mean, all of my races have gone quite smoothly today. So yeah, hopefully I can carry that into Brands Indy.
And yeah, I think it's 29 points. Kieran was straight on the points and having a look. Not quite a race clear, but very nearly. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, Brands Indy? Have you done any testing on there?
No, not yet. I've been too busy on Silverstone.
I'm guessing you must have done esports racing on Brands Indy before, though, in something.
Yeah, in Genettas I have before.
And they're pretty close, aren't they? So you're well aware of the sort of nature. And what sort of entries were there? Was it a crowded track? Did you get into having to lap cars on when you were doing Ginetta Juniors?
Yeah, I think we were lapping cars.
So it's not going to be a particularly big shock for you, other than the fact that it's open wheel.
Yeah, just a slightly different car to do it in.
Oh, that's good. How did you feel going into the last round? Nervous or happy or?
I'm quite happy that I'm leading the championship into it. I mean, it gives me the best chance of winning it at the end. So yeah, just have to see what happens next week.
Do you get any coaching? Do you got anyone that coaches you, or do you just literally go on the sim and work it out for yourself as you go along?
Just work it out with me and my teammate Leon as we go. So yeah.
That's a mega effort, and that wraps us up for the evening. Gabe, many congratulations on a superb evening. Driver of the round, triple podium, and race winner, seeing us out at Silverstone GP. Look forward to seeing you at Brands. Have a great week, mate, and well done.
Yeah. Also, my teammate did very well to gain back his positions. I saw he was in a few incidents, so yeah, well done to him as well.
Nice one, great stuff. Again, have a good week, and we'll see you at Brands.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done, Gabriel Norsav, race 3 winner, and tripling up on the podium in actual fact. With the championship leads, we head to this venue, Brands Hatch, Indy. Big thanks to Tom Nippers. Tom, been a real pleasure working with you. I'm sure we will do it again, hopefully on Formula Ford, if not something else. But yeah, great effort. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really have.
Yeah, no, I really have. No, thank you very much for having me. It's been brilliant.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Any time at all. So thanks so much for doing that. And for Ian Danaher, clerk of the course, who's got the work to do on Thursday. Broadcaster Steve Allen. I think we've got a panel to go up to promote the Touring Car Championship coming up next. A lovely way to follow the Formula Ford series. And we're just a little bit of I think we've got quite a few drivers entered already for the 8-round event. Is that Rich?
Yeah, it is.
Hello, Rich. How are you?
Hello. I'm very good, thank you.
We've got a few drivers entered already, and more welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. We're up to 23 signed up already, so we've still got. Well, it's round 1, as you can see, is the 24th, so we've still got a month to go. A month today. So yeah, I think we can probably take up to 30 cars in this championship. So there's still 7 spaces left on the grid.
Very good. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. I can't believe that takes us up to May, which we'll be thinking about the seasonal break, won't we, by then?
Yeah. It's crazy how quickly it's going. But no, it's going to be great fun. We've picked a couple of really good cars from the Super Touring pack. So harking back to the 90s here with the BMW 320 and the Audi A4. Very well matched cars. Obviously, one's rear-wheel drive, one's front-wheel drive. So very different in the approach and how you handle it. But yeah, really looking forward to it.
That's good. I hope that we've heard some of the drivers that are involved in joined us for Formula Ford for the first time are going to have a go as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, really looking forward to the new drivers staying on with us.
That'd be great, and hopefully we'll get some new drivers as well, which will be good. And the more the merrier. Always very welcome. Maybe we could persuade Tom Nippers to have a go as well.
Maybe.
Maybe at some point.
At some point. Definitely, maybe. Anyway, yeah, we're looking forward. Tom, thanks again, mate, for joining us. Really appreciate that, and look forward to interviewing you on the podium again. I won't be doing any podium interviews on Formula Ford till the festival at the moment.
Let's hope I'm on there, hey?
Yeah, pole position, heat win, and semi-final win, and then final win, hopefully, this year as well. That sounds like I'm getting favourites now, doesn't it, for the festival? I'm not, but it would be great to be able to do that with someone we've co-commentated with.
Yeah, I'll try and keep my temper down a bit on the podium this year.
No, you'll be all right. You'll be grand. But no, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And to Alan Bowles for organising it as well, and to Geoff Page for his support, and for Rich doing all the work as well in the background. Hope you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast. I've enjoyed it. One more to go for the Formula Fords. It's been over real quick. Brands Hatch, Indy. That's the place to finish Formula Ford, isn't it? Our campaign, 100%. Thank you for watching. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you same time next week.
Between between the two of them.
The insider coats.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.